this is Jaren İskit, and you're watching What's New, What's News. Yes, after a week of break, as I was in the vacation, now I'm back, and hopefully we will go with new subjects, new discussions online on YouTube with me. So today we will actually discuss about the current situation, what's happening in the Middle East, what happened after Hamas leader Haniyeh's assassination, and what will be the impact of this, especially considering Iran and Israel relations, and also Turkey's stance is very important on this matter as well. So I'm gonna invite now a very esteemed journalist from Iran Wire Online, Roghayeh Rezaei. Let me invite her.
Hi.
Welcome, Roghayeh. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Jaren. How are you?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you for joining me today. It is very important, and I really appreciate that you spare your time with me. Well, you know, all eyes are on now Iran and Israel and what's gonna happen next. Basically, what happened in Iran, because everyone was so surprised with the Haniyeh's assassination. It is kind of an unusual incident happened in Iran, because obviously we all know that Iran was protecting Haniyeh that time, and it is very vital that actually Israel just attacked Haniyeh in Iran while the country was protecting him. Can you just give us a little bit brief information about it, please?
Sure. On July 31st, actually, Ismail Haniyeh was a guest for the Islamic Republic of Iran. He attended the inauguration of the new president of Islamic Republic, Masoud Pezeshkian, and he was a guest, as I said before. So they actually placed him in a veteran residency, well under surveillance and well protected. But there are doubts that that place has been like used for him several times in the past. So it was a kind of a leakage or something like that, the intelligence leakage. But that happened, and I think that that is going to be the new normal. During the past, actually, let's say 8-9 months, we've seen like these kind of confrontations between Iran and Israel happening more often. And I think, as I said, it's gonna be the new normal. It's not just one-time confrontation, one-time direct and face-to-face confrontation. It's not like the previous times. Like it's not the proxy wars, or it's not Iran's proxies attacking Israel's land and Israel, fighting back against Hezbollah or Hamas or Houthis. So it is a direct confrontation, and it's something really important affecting the whole region. Saying this introduction, I would like to actually point out to the news actually coming out from Russia. Our sources, I mean, Iran Wire sources, actually have declared that Russia is not happy with Iran, retaliating, fighting back, or responding back, or as the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei, wants to say, punishing the Israel. As I said, like Russia doesn't want it to happen. Like on the land of Israel, on the civilians of Israel, and Russia is trying to actually mediate between Iran and Israel during these very hard times, these very intensified, let's say, happenings.
And also, a meeting happened held yesterday between Iran and Russia. and this is the information came after that meeting, or?
Yeah, exactly. I think I believe actually we just published it in Persian at Iran. A source previously, like a former diplomat, told us that Russia, specifically Putin, is going to mediate between Iran and Russia. I'm just going to read you the content just came out. So
that would be wonderful, actually.
Yeah. Sorry, it's going to take a second.
Just take your time, and meanwhile, I can speak a little bit the brief information that you're telling. This is the new normal now. All the confrontation between the response that Iran is dealing with Israel, especially, and can we a little bit open up what is the new normal as well after you read that, of course, statement, because I'm wondering what is the new normal in Iran or other countries, especially for considering the region. Basically.
Okay, according to source, a former diplomat, Sergei Shoigu, the head of the Security Council of Russia, the National Security Council of Russia, actually has had meetings with Iran's officials, telling that Russia is against any kind of military retaliation that Iran and their alliance in the Middle East attack actually Israel and cause the civilians' death. Putin has told the Iranian officials that he's going to speak with Israelis to put a stop on these kind of military activities in Iran's land, or according to the source in their previous attack in Iran's embassy. I believe it was a consulate in Damascus. So these are the new updates we've had from a source, a former diplomat, telling IranWire.com. So going back to your question about the new normal, I believe that previously it was a kind of like proxy war between Iran and Israel, if I want to put it like in simple words. Iran's proxies, including Hezbollah, they are affiliated with the Islamic Republic of Iran, of course. Hezbollah, Hamas, and also Houthis, they've been protecting what is called the Iranian government's, the Iranians' interest in the Middle East, and what is called the axis of resistance. So they've been protecting it. They've been acting in favor of the axis of resistance, and this axis is been widening, is been extending during the past few years. And we could see that, for example, Russia is now considered as one of the axes of the resistance. So it's not anymore an Islamic issue. It's more of, what they call it, the resistance against let's say, Israel and the West. So it's been extending. But during the past few months, we've seen that Iran and Israel, they're confronting each other directly. For example, the attack Israel had on Iran's consulate in Damascus, which led to actually the killing of Mohammad Reza Zahedi, a very important figure to IRGC's actually Quds forces, which is like the we call it نیروی قدس سپاه پاسداران, which is the force acting actually outside the borders of Iran. So he was a very important figure, and his loss was really considered important to the supreme leader in IRGC. So they basically retaliated. They attacked in April 2024 Israel's land with more than 300 drones and let's say missiles, and they attacked Israel's lands, and that caused actually a kind of like Iran having the courage to respond back, because before that they would think that nothing is going to happen from Iran's side. So Israel got actually the message, and Iran was like making a big propaganda over it, saying that we have faced the Israelis and we are not afraid of them. The media in Iran were all full of these kind of stories. So what's happening today is probably the response or the retaliation of that attack that was called the actually Va'adeh Sadiq. I don't know how to say it exactly in English, but it happened in April, and now we can see the retaliation happening right now with the Haniyeh's assassination, which is, of course, Israel has not officially claimed it, but there are strong actually opinions on that could be Israel's actually work.
Well, seems so, but of course nobody officially take on any responsibility for that, so we cannot say. We can only predict, but we cannot say anything certain. But at the same time, there are now many speculations that I think it is just because the complexity of the Middle East region as well. All the relations are very complicated for people who doesn't understand the region, the culture, etc., etc. So now the new speculation, as you can see, especially on the mainstream media, even with the alternative media, everyone is afraid of the World War III. Is there any potential you see? Because we're speaking about Iran. Iran is a very strong country. When we think about Israel, Israel is now attacking all the time to Palestine, Syria, Damascus. Recently, they attacked to Damascus as well. Also, Lebanon, Beirut was another dynamic recently happened over the past 2 weeks, maybe we can say. How do you see the future? I know you mentioned that this is a new world, this is a new idea of maybe calling it a war or Cold War. I don't know how we should name it, but at the same time, it is like a war, and it's a very tight and how do you say the tensions are escalating, so it is very concerning for everyone actually. So how do you see that? How will Iran think about it? I mean, this is something very important maybe to talk about it, because I'm tired of listening all the speculations, because it doesn't really matter for the leaders of the organizations or anything, but it is about the region. So maybe we can talk about that as well.
Sure. So first of all, the war is a really heartbreaking, a very negative, and I cannot put correct words to describe it, but the war is happening in Palestine. The war is happening in Gaza for
Exactly.
thousands of people. They've been displaced, they've been killed, they've been maimed, and this is happening. So
Yeah.
when we're telling that a World War III will happen, I think that the war is already there, and it's killing people actually. So by saying that if Iran is engaged in a real war, nothing actually happens to the pain and suffering that people of
Mm.
Gaza are actually are suffering from. So, but I think that a real, not of course real, like a war that will happen instead of Gaza in Iran and Israel's land, it's not going to happen. Because these countries, both of them, they put their own, like, let's say, their own being in advance. They put their own being actually prior to everything that they claim they are supporting. I'm
Mm.
talking about the Islamic Republic.
Mm.
Israel's situation is clear. It's a settler colonial country. And it's clear what's happening in Israel and what's happening to the lands of Palestinians since 1967. But I'm
Mm.
talking about the Islamic Republic of Iran. They are claiming that they're supporting the actually Palestinians. But we've seen during the past years that many Palestinians in Gaza, they are actually against the policies, against the actions of Hamas, which is a
Mm.
proxy force for Islamic Republic. So, so I believe that this kind of like Hippocratic and anti-humanist actions that saying we're supporting a nation, but indeed you're supporting your own being and your own interests over. They put actually their own interests prior to the being of the people of Palestine. So this is really Hippocratic, and they're doing that. They're exploiting those people. They're doing a kind of like let's say a type of colonization in Gaza, and as well as many other Islamic countries, many other countries in the region, like Iraq, like Yemen, like Syria. So I see this in this way, and I think that, going back to your question, I think that there's not going to be a war in Iran or in Israel. The war will happen, unfortunately, to suffocate, to actually give pain to the people of Palestine, or people that the Islamic Republic's proxies are located there. So yeah, I think the new normal also going to be these kind of confrontations, these kind of like time-bound confrontations. They're going to be military. They're going to be wasting people's monies, wasting people's lives, but it's not going to be a war.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, speaking of about the Iran situation, relations with Hamas.
About the devil.
Maybe true. Yeah. Well, obviously, Iran is supporting Hamas, not only mentally or emotionally, but also financially.
Yeah.
They're supporting Hamas with the weapons, with all the needs of money, etc., etc. Now we have seen, after Haniyeh's killing, actually Turkey announced that we had 1 day national mourning because we know the relations between Erdogan and Haniyeh was really close. Also, when the time Haniyeh visited Istanbul, actually, we were also discussing whether there will be any kind of headquarter of Hamas or not, which was another concerning subject to us to talk about it. But now, after seeing those kind of stands of Türkiye, do you think that it's kind of a big role that now seems like Turkey is taking on as well? So would Iran let Turkey to, to be the lead of, maybe supporting Hamas and the new relations? Would that be possible? Will Iran allow or give a permission to Turkey to do that?
Well, the politics of the region are really complicated. I wouldn't be able to actually give you some direct answers about this question specifically, but I'm just gonna open up the situation a little bit. First of all, dictators learn from each other, and they become rivals over the time, or they become friends over the time. What's going on the case of Gaza and the war that started with Hamas attacking Israel lands and taking more than 1,000 hostages back to Gaza, and the war started, of course, after that. I mean, war, but because before that, we know that the situation was so intense, but the direct, bombing, the direct killing of the people of Gaza, it happened after October last year. So with this situation on the ground, we see a complex of dictators of the region becoming friends and rivals when it comes to Gaza. I can see that Turkey is also trying to be a part of the resistance, but I'm hoping that the President Erdogan, let's say, has the basic morality to not actually involve himself and involve Turkey into this battle that has no winner. We need actually a power like Turkey that could actually help the people of Palestine instead of supporting Hamas, which is a terrorist group. Like people of Gaza are not supporting it to the best of my knowledge, and we've seen like footage coming from Gaza that people say that actually they don't want Hamas, they don't want Iran there. So I'm hoping that President Erdogan is not has actually that basic morality to support people of Gaza, people of Palestine, because we need it. But as you see, like the situation is so intense, and I don't actually understand really the mindset behind the politics in Turkey. So I would rather to answer this question here, like saying that Turkey is trying to put a step on the ladder that the Islamic Republic has established already, but hopefully the years of democracy in Turkey and the strong NGOs, the strong grassroots organizations that Turkey has won't allow like this situation to happen.
Well, democracy you called, I call it autocracy. So we are
Of
very
course,
far away.
of course, speaking about the past
Yeah,
mostly, but
yeah.
yeah, we've seen that happening in Turkey, like in the past years as well, in the recent years as well. Hopefully, something will happen.
Well, we don't know, but the thing is, recently, as we spoke on the phone, that you fully aware of the situation now on Instagram as well. That's how we call it. It's censorship,
Yeah, yeah,
supporting a terrorist organization leader, um, and announcing a national mourning rather than the killing of the soldiers in the southeastern part of Turkey or other innocent people, especially for the February 6th earthquakes when we consider about it. But we do it national mourning for the Haniyeh. So
yeah.
this is kind of a little bit tough situation for Turkey, calling for a democracy. I'm a little bit I have doubts on that, basically.
I can understand that it's quite fair. You're living there, and you see everything in more detailed way. But for me, looking at as a perspective, from a perspective, more of a foreigner, more of a person that is looking from outside. It's something that I can be positive about. Like think things actually would happen. But of course, like the situation in Turkey also is not promising. The censorship, as you mentioned, yeah, it's really serious.
It is. It is very severe. Well, Roghayeh, thank you very much for joining me. Is there anything else you would like to add before we close this discussion?
Well, I would like to just add that supporting people who are in suffering, in pain under the everyday bombings is not something that you could look at it politically. Like I think it needs actually a wide kind of solidarity, a kind of like solidarity between all the nations in order to stop the suffering of people who've been suffered for a long time now. So I think we need to be together. We need to stand hand by hand, and we need to put in a stop for this situation.
Hopefully, peace will come soon. I agree with you. Nothing more than that, actually. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you.
And hopefully we will meet up for more discussions for soon as well. Thank you, Roghayeh.
Thank you for having me. Thanks.
Well, as you can see, it's a very complex issue. Every time I'm mentioning this, I know, and maybe you may get bored a little bit about that, but Middle East, when you think about the region, especially, it is very complex and it is very difficult to understand. But anyways, we will follow up the current and recent incidents happening across the world and Turkey, and we will follow it and make more discussions for that as well. Meanwhile, please support me. Independent journalism is very important for us to be survive in this environment, in this very competing environment. So please do not forget to subscribe my YouTube channel, liking my videos, and also share your thoughts with me. Every little word that I'm reading and taking attention on it. So please do share your thoughts with me and support me. Well, we will definitely speak about the censorship happening in Turkey on Friday. I will have a special guest for that because it's not only about censorship, it's about freedom of expression, it's about press freedom. Everyone is struggling now to access Instagram. And the reason is, obviously, we talked about it. The reason is a little bit kind of an excuse for Turkey when you consider stray animals bill passed in the parliament and other dynamics in Turkey. So we will definitely discuss that matter on Friday, 12:30. But till then, have a lovely week. See you on Friday. Bye-bye.